Thank you so much. Okay. And if you could take the lady off of mute, please. The glasses down the bottom. Take the girl off. Okay. Okay. So whenever you get ready to speak, go for it.
I was talking.
Okay. You aren't on mute, so if you want to talk, or maybe I should tell you guys a little about myself. I was waiting till the other attendees got here. They're not here yet, so if you want to introduce yourself and tell us about your center and tell us if you have a question, comment. Thank you.
I gave you host privileges.
So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, I
Can you
didn't
guys
have.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
She just went to a
It was
quiet
not
area
just
so
me.
she can actually hear.
Yeah, because I'm at another event, but I didn't want to miss the call.
Oh,
So
oh,
I
okay.
was here. I'm here to actually listen. This is Davette Stevens. I'm from Stamford,
I
Connecticut.
thought so. I didn't want to call you the wrong name.
Yeah. So I'm at another event right now, but I didn't want to miss out. So I came outside really quick. But I'm just here to like listen. I know there's a lot of things that I have to work on. So, you know, when we spoke the other day about the whole QuickBooks and being able to pay myself first, so I just wanted to hear what were some of the other issues that other owners was having, you know, through their businesses, making sure like I'm not the only one like having these issues, but just watching your videos and hearing other people leave messages and things, I know I'm not the only one, but I need to learn. So that's why I jumped on the call.
Well, David, I'm so glad that you are able to make it, even though you're in the midst of another event. I see Kendra has joined. Welcome to the room, Kendra. So, a lot of the issues that you face, and I won't get into any specifics. Excuse me. A lot of childcare providers, a lot of business owners in general, face a lot of the same issues. The top issues that I see, that we see, and Anita's on the call. Anita is actually our accounting manager over here. A lot of the issues that we see are common. We see owners working really hard and having really great programs, but they're not paying themselves. We see people fall into the unfortunate trap where they are maybe able to pay themselves, but it's at the cost of paying payroll taxes. And that's something that they fall victim to. A lot of people don't have the means or they don't have the guidance to do tax planning. So then they end up with a nasty tax bill at the end of the year. And they don't have the instruction with them so that they can start planning for retirement. Our clients, our youngest client, I believe she's 19 years old. So well past 19 years old. I wish I was there. But if I had a mindset to start saving for retirement when I was 19 years old, by the time I got to where I am today, and God willing, I will be twice that amount on November the 30th, I would be so much, I would be in a much more secure place. So retirement is an issue, payroll taxes are an issue, income taxes are an issue. But by far, the biggest issue that I see the child care providers face is that they simply don't have a good handle of their finances. A lot of people want to grow, they want to expand, they want to open additional locations, they want to improve their programs, but it's impossible to grow your numbers if you don't know your numbers. So that's where we come in and help them. I can't tell you how many times the year comes and I'm trying to find a button to mute everybody, except for you. A lot of times will come where they're sitting there and they're waiting to get their taxes done. And we used to see everyone in person and now we're virtual, and we used to see everybody cloud based. So I can't tell you how many times people will come and they're nervous and they're like this, and the leg is going and they're biting it up because they just don't know. They don't know if they're going to owe taxes. They don't know if they're going to get a refund. They're really not sure what's going on. They don't know how much they make. I see we have several ladies that have joined us. Thank you so much for coming. And they'll say to me, "Oh my God, am I going to owe taxes?" Or I'll say, "You made $100,000 this year." No, no way I made that. They don't know. And if you don't know what you're making, it's very difficult to say you're going to increase it, because how can you increase something and you don't even know what something is? So I would say, if I had to narrow down, like you had asked, what is the problem that childcare providers are facing? Is all in the numbers. But the numbers, in my opinion, are really not the issue. The numbers are a symptom of the issue. The bigger issue, and I do have 3 business degrees, one of them being in organizational leadership. So I think the reason why they don't know the numbers is not because they are unable to know their numbers. They don't know their numbers because they're so busy taking care of the children, managing the staff, dealing with the parents, fighting with the state. You have all these other things on your plate. So yeah, you're gonna forget that receipt. You're gonna, I'm stuff it in the glove box. Oh, it's gonna be in the bottom of my box. Oh, I'm gonna get to those estimated tax payments. I'm gonna do it next week, next month. And then the next thing you know, it's April 15th, and you
Yes.
get the tax return filed, and you got this pesky accountant asking you all this stuff. How are you supposed to remember what you did in January and February, or even June for that matter? So if you don't have those controls in place and those things in place, you will, I won't say never, but it will be a lot more difficult for you to grow. So profitability is not just about adding numbers up. Growing your business is not just about doing a good tax return. Yes, people pay me to prepare their taxes, but that's not what I'm doing, That's the compliance. We don't have a choice. We have to do that. Um, but the other benefits that you get from the program, that budgeting, that comparing the budget to the actual, and making adjustments, tweaking operations so that you can be in line with where you want to go. I spoke to one lady yesterday, and her goal was to get into a building, and she had a budget and she used the budget. She got into the building, but when she got into the building, all that fell by the wayside. So now there's some other challenges have come up, and I said, well, the problem is we should have never. Um, I see Latricia put something in the chat box. I'm not sure what it is. I'm sorry, Leticia. That's pretty. So the problem is that, and I asked her, and she has an accountant, and her accountant is a CPA. So I'm a little disappointed, that it got to be that way. But you never want to stop having goals. You never want to stop analyzing your progress. You never want to ignore my emails when I send you a financial statement and a request to talk about your financial performance, because it is important, you know? Did I answer your question?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I think the next person, there's someone here that doesn't have a name. They're on a Galaxy J7. I've never seen a Galaxy J7 before, but I'm not the techiest person. It says Galaxy J7 Prime. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, so that you can ask any question you may have, or if you had a comment. I don't know why I'm unable to unmute you, but if you want to type your question in the chat box, I can go ahead and read it and address it. Oh, I see Leticia has raised her hand. So, okay, Leticia, you are up. I don't know why you can't be unmuted either. That's strange. Some people can be and some people can't. I think it's the people that dialed in on the phone that aren't. So if you ladies want to type your question into the chat box, I can read it and I can address it. So, and then a lot of people. So, Leticia, I do see that your hand is raised. Yeah, I think that's it. And Rashida must be on the cell phone also, because I can't see. I don't have the option to unmute her. I know Kendra had a lot of questions. She had a lot of interesting questions. I was actually going to save hers because hers are a little more involved, than some of the other people's questions. and I could talk forever and a day about Kendra's. But I'm going to go ahead and unmute you because there's no one else here with their hand raised that I'm allowed to take off of mute. And you, I can take off of mute. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. Good morning, Kendra.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm blessed. I won't complain.
Good. Yes, I had a lot of questions.
Okay, so
I was coming.
what's your favorite question? Because I'm going to come back to you if you don't mind.
Oh, no
So
problem. That's not a problem at all. I know I had a lot, so that's fine. I can wait till the end. I'll be on here.
no, I welcome that. Give me one of your favorite questions.
Well, my favorite one is the S4 component. Because I'm currently a LLC, and I wanted to know if it's beneficial to go under as a S corp or a C corp,
Okay.
and why I should do that. Why I should, if I should, and why I should.
Okay. That is one of my favorite questions. I was hoping that you would ask that one first.
Yes.
I will tell you all that I am very biased when it comes to entity structures because yes, I want you to achieve the greatest profitability, but in doing so, I'm also working at the same time. So on this hand, I want you to be as profitable as possible. I want to keep more of your money in your pocket. And coming from this angle, I want to minimize your tax liability as much as we legally can without drawing too many red flags and getting you all caught up. So,
Right.
S corporation is a subchapter of the IRS code, and it's actually a hybrid between a C corp and an LLC. And to become an S corp, you have to have either you have to be a partnership, or you have to be a single member LLC, or you have to already be a C corp. If I'm able to tell you which one is best for you, that would be difficult to say without actually seeing the numbers because
Okay.
um, the way the S corp works, for those of you that may not, and I have videos on it, I have blogs on it, I posted it in the daycare group on Facebook. Now, before 2018, before 45 got in office,
Mhm.
usually the general rule of thumb was once somebody reaches somewhere around 30, 40 grand, it makes more sense, net profit, it makes more sense for them to be an S corporation. But once 45 took office, he changed the tax code. They shook it up like we've never seen before. And now there's this something called a QBI, qualified business income deduction, and that's 20% off the top of your net profit. So
Hmm.
whereas before it would have been a no-brainer, everybody needs to be an S corp. Now, not so much so. It'll also matter if you're married, if you're filing a married joint tax return, if you
Oh,
have children under 17. I won't ask what your net profit is in this open platform, because confidentiality is important to us. So it's a lot of factors that go into whether you should be an S corp or not. How your health insurance is set up, if it's going to be paid by the business, if you're, operating under a sole proprietorship and you want to take advantage of the self-employed healthcare deduction. With an S corp, it kind of cancels itself out because if you own more than 2% of it, then you have to gross up your wages, meaning that healthcare that you would be paying for yourself would become part of your W-2 wages. You would pay payroll taxes on it, but then you still get to back it out elsewhere on a tax return. So all those things come into play. What kind of retirement program you want? Do you want to offer it to everyone, or do you want to just offer it to yourself? But if I
mm.
all of those considerations, and there's some more off the table, and I was to just try to answer that question in a nutshell, usually if you're already running people through payroll, an S corp in most cases is most beneficial. We are an S corp. I love S corps, but if you're on a higher end of income, and between you and your spouse, if someone's married filing jointly, once you reach that 315, 415, for 100,000, then you start to lose the QBI business deduction. So then that S corp doesn't make as much sense because in 2018 the top C corp tax bracket was 21%. So if you find yourself in a 30 something percent tax bracket as an S corp, I'm sorry, as a sole proprietor, which is Schedule C, I'm not going to tell you to be an S corp and pay 37% on your next taxable dollar. It's called your marginal tax rate. Instead, I'm going to say, okay, it makes sense for you to be a C corp. In the
Okay.
13 years I've been doing this, I've only told 3 people to be a C corp. If that just gives you a little bit of frame of reference, and I can
Hmm.
count the amount of people that I told that they should be an S corp. Of course, there's legal considerations at play on why some of my clients are C corps against, not against my advice, but it wasn't my idea. Because when you're trying to decide what structure works best for you, yes, the tax and accounting are super important, but the legalities behind it and the legal protections are important as well. So I would come up with my accountant opinion, and I would tell you, for someone just starting out, you're already an LLC, so that part is settled. I don't think you would consider changing with the state to be a C corp, but in some cases, some people will change with the IRS in their state to become a C corp for tax purposes. So you can be a LLC and be taxed as a C corp or an S corp. And by the
Okay.
way, just so everyone knows, there is no such thing as an IRS LLC tax return. When you go to talk to your accountants, your tax preparers, hopefully it will be us this year, but even if not, you tell them and they ask you what's your business structure, they're talking about your tax structure, you are not a LLC because there's no such thing. If you're one person,
Mm.
you are a sole proprietor. If you are two or more people, you are a partnership. And if you elect to be taxed as an S corp, you are an S corp. And I keep repeating that and saying that because we see a lot of people that genuinely do not know their tax structure, filing the wrong tax return for years. And if you're supposed to file an entity return, because the C Corp, the S Corp, the nonprofit, they all have a standalone tax return. But that single member LLC sole proprietor, that goes along with their personal. So
Okay.
we're talking about filing your business taxes first or your personal first and then your business, you really want to make sure, and Kendra, I don't think this is you, it's just for the benefit of all of us. You really want to make sure you know what your tax structure is and what form you should be filing, or you will end up needing to file some amendments and potentially getting hit with penalties for filing an incorrect form. Was my answer helpful to you?
Yes, very much so.
I
Thank
didn't want to
you.
confuse you at all.
Not
Um,
at all.
yeah,
Very helpful.
yeah, but it's not a clear cut answer without seeing the numbers.
Yes, I understand.
Most people save. The least I've ever saved someone from making them an S corp was probably around 5 grand, but their net income wasn't on a really higher end anyway. But still, 5 grand in my case, if I save $1 more, it's a good day. So.
Well, see that was my concern because I didn't make an election once I registered my LLC. So I thought that I could perhaps have been doing my taxes wrong because I was only doing under my personal. And then you kind of just confirmed that it was supposed to be going that way because I'm a single member LLC.
But another thing that would be really good for everyone to do, and I just admitted a few more people. Another thing that would be really good for you guys to do is go dig up your IRS EIN letter. Dig that
Yes, I
letter up. Make sure it says what you think it should say. We have a client, God bless her, beautiful lady. All our people usually come to us in distress. um, but she came to us and she thought she was a C Corp. I have tax returns from 2012, 1120. That's what a C Corp files. Guess what? She is not a C Corp. So since 7 years, she's been filing her personal return, never filed the business return. And it's a whole
Wow.
lot of other stuff that goes along with that. And when I told her, when we explained it to her, she said, "Oh my gosh, Shanita, when y'all get me out of this, when y'all get me out of this, I'm gonna record a video and tell everybody all about what's going on." And the thing that hurt me the most for her, because I take all this too personally, the thing that hurt me the most for her was she was going to very qualified people. And when she came to me for something else, and I discovered it was a payroll issue. And when I discovered it just from doing research, the other CPA firm wouldn't give her the time of day because she had 7 years of 1120s. So they thought she didn't know what she was talking about. I would have thought she didn't know what she was talking about. But because I was doing that research and in there, one simple call to the IRS, we find out nothing is what it seemed to be. So get your
Mhm.
IRS EIN letter. I see a lot of people when they set up, they plan to set up with a partner. A lot of times it's the husband, it's a sister, it's never just some person, some random person. And you set up as this partnership, but then the partnership never materializes and comes to light. So you end up filing tax returns as a sole proprietor, but that partnership EIN is still out there. And that
Mhm.
IRS is still looking for that partnership EIN. Or maybe you intended to set up as a C Corp, but then whatever happened and you decided to just be an LLC, which defaulted you to a sole proprietor, and you never filed that C Corp, you never close that EIN out. Well, guess what? With the IRS, the penalty this year is $210 per month or part of a month per person for unfiled tax return. So if you allow that filing to go unfiled for that long because you don't know and you think it never happened, the IRS does not care what you thought. All they care is what that EIN letter says. So when we do anyone's taxes or we do accounting for business owners, we always ask to see that EIN letter. We want to see that state organizational letter. And no, it's not that we don't believe you, it's that we don't believe you. Because so we have it is my job to do due diligence. Now, yes, if you come to me and you say, Shanita, can you file this S corp, and I file it and you pay your fee, I've done what you paid me to do, right? I
Right.
make a lot more money if you have me do the wrong thing and I turn around and I have to charge you to put it on a different tax form, right?
Mhm.
My opinion, that's not good business. I want to do it right the first time, not what you asked me if you're asking me something that doesn't apply. So that's why we're so adamant and we ask for so much stuff, because we've seen too many people fall into too many traps. So
Okay.
get your EIN letters out, take a look at them, ask questions when you go to your tax professionals. Ask questions. Why? I tell my people, if you don't understand something, ask me why 5 times. If you don't understand why, just like the kids do y'all all day, if you don't understand why after 5 times, I need to go back, regroup, revisit, and communicate more effectively. It's not that you have a lack of understanding, because this isn't your world. This is my little crazy world. So part of my little crazy world is helping you guys understand all these things you need to do. So no question is a stupid question or a question that you should know the answer to. And that's why I encourage everyone to ask so many questions, because people inbox me or email me all day and ask me questions, or they'll say, that lady, especially you, Kendra, that lady asked the question and I wanted to know the same thing and blah, 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 blah. So your questions are helping other people, and I hope that the responses are helping you all as well.
Absolutely.
So we had a couple new people join the room. For some reason, some people do not have the option to be muted. I think it has something to do with the way you joined the group. So, Leticia, I still didn't get your question, and I'm not able to take you off of mute. So, if you want, oh, okay. So if you want, you can definitely type the question in the box, and we'll be able to answer it. So Okay. So someone, I thought I muted everybody. Somebody has a little bit of, okay, I got it. So we're almost running out of time, but we can definitely do this again. The meeting started a little bit late and is only set up for about 45 minutes. Um, so we definitely can do this again, or we can do it on a Facebook Live kind of situation. So one of Kendra's questions was she wanted to know what exactly it is that we do. Well, I think she knows what we do, but she wanted to know about services. So I'll just take this last 10 minutes and tell you a little bit about what we do. And the easiest way for me to do that is to share my crazy screen with you. Um, I'll share this one. Um, so we do offer accounting services. I think everybody can see my screen. So we do tax returns, we do payroll, we do a whole lot of stuff. We do our specialty is focusing on childcare professionals. So we have three packages. There's the bookkeeper package. This is our compliance package. It allows up to reconciliation for three accounts. You get your financial statements by the end of the month. Everybody gets unlimited email support because I want you to talk to me when you do things. I don't want you to just go off and do things because someone told you that this is how you can save money, or you don't save money, and even worse, you get in trouble and go to jail. So um, it includes up to three accounts reconciliations. That's your checking, your savings, your loans, things of that nature. You get your statements by the 15th of the month. And then we like to do a video meeting with you quarterly. Now, this package is probably best for someone that's just starting out or someone that's been in business for a while and they already have a good grasp of their budget. They're not experiencing cash flow issues. They want to make sure they're not missing deductions when it comes time to file their tax return. They need some help with managing the commingling of doing the business stuff in the personal account and the personal stuff in the business account. If you're not used to working with an accountant, you would probably want to start here with the bookkeeper package because it'll get you on a road and you can also grow up to more when the time is right for you. The next level up, our most popular solution, is the accountant package. Everybody gets free software, but if you want to be able to access the software and use online software, we will purchase it at a wholesale rate for you and then bill it to you because the price is like double if you buy it from QuickBooks directly. Um, so what this allows for reconciliation for more accounts. You would get your statements by the 11th of the month, so you get your statements sooner to make more timely decisions. We'll do a custom financial report for you. We call them key performance indicators or metrics, whatever. Some people call them different things. But basically, if you wanted to know the profit per child or the revenue per child or the cost per square foot, some people want all kind of interesting numbers. We could do that for you. And if you don't know what you want as we're working with you, we'll figure out what you need and give you what you need. And we take a look at that in all of our packages too, especially in the beginning. We do accounts payable with this package. We'll pay bills twice a month for you, up to 15 bills. There is a small processing fee per bill, usually like $1 or something, but that's paid to the people that are the actual processing company. No bills get paid without your written, whether it's electronic or in writing, approval for the funds to come out, acknowledging the date that that's going to happen. With this package, we set up a budget with you, and then quarterly we sit down and we review the budget. We review, is our budget good? Do we need to change our forecast going forward? Where are we missing the mark? We get into all of the analyticals there. Your federal taxes, we estimate them on a quarterly basis. And if you are a person that's going to owe taxes, we would make sure that you're making estimated payments during the year so that you don't get to the end of the year and have a big nasty tax bill. We also do your tax return for 50% off. I can't tell you the value of that because I don't know if you're an S corp like Kendra said, or a sole proprietor or nonprofit or whatever. But we just, whatever our fees are, we knock it off. And then we also do a second meeting. I like to combine the two because it makes a lot of sense, where we go over your financial statements. So we give them to you monthly. You can ask us questions about them. You can email us. But then we like to sit down and talk quarterly and make sure we're on the same page. But with any package in the beginning, when you first start, we'll talk a lot more because we got to make sure you're educated, empowered, and informed. Our top tier of service is the CFO package. It allows for more account reconciliations. We like to get you your statements by the 7th of the month. The only way that can happen is if you don't ignore our emails. And if we have questions, we can go ahead and get the information we need so that we can reconcile your accounts timely and get you good statements. With this, we'll pay up to 20 bills. And also not listed here, we do the 1099s if you have 1099s. And if you have 1099s that you should not have, and that was one of the questions that I've seen in the group, someone wanted to pay as independent contractors. We would work on that with you too to make sure we're not exposing you to that risk. Um, the federal tax income tax estimation is included, and also the annual business federal retax is included, and the personal income tax for the owner is included also, provided now if they have another business or anything, there might be an additional charge for that, but if they don't, then it's just straight up included. And with this package, we meet with you on a monthly basis. This package is best for people that are growing. Usually the people that go for this package have 40, 50 kids or more. With any of the packages, if you have additional locations, we would like to give you the profitability report per location. So if you have a home in a building or two buildings, then it's an additional charge of $250 a month. We would not treat it as a separate company. And then sometimes for nonprofits, depending on the level of reporting you need, there might be an additional cost for the nonprofits because, or people receiving certain federal grants. Some of them need a whole lot of additional reporting, but we're equipped to do all of that. So we have about 2 minutes left. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And if anyone has any questions, I will go ahead and address those questions, and we can pick back up with all of the questions that went unanswered at another time. Did anybody have any questions? Okay. By show of hands, how many people here are already working with an accountant? Or show of chat box? Okay. So there's not that many of us. It doesn't seem like there's anyone. So you definitely want to get an accountant and at least have your stuff reviewed and discussed at least on a quarterly basis, because what we don't know will unfortunately cost us in trouble, and money, taxes. I've even seen wages garnished. And we do still do tax returns, even for people where we're not doing the books. We still do tax returns standalone for daycare still. So my time is almost up. I'll probably go hang out on a Facebook Live for a little bit in case anybody else wants to join or wants to post anything. Thank you all for coming to our first meeting. We'll probably do another unscripted one like this, and then all of our future meetings will probably have more of an agenda. So thank you guys so much. I'm so glad you came, and I hope I was able to help you. Bye-bye.